Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of.
Cause you don't know football.
I'm still wondering how Tim got so lucky to be in Florida. You see, I have a hoodie on now because this is what it's
Yo,
Northeast.
still here. It's rock and roll. I just got out of the pool to come back up here, rocking my boys' team down in Vero Beach. So my buddy Johnny D lives down here, and he's a soccer coach over there. So not quite our football, but still football, depending on where you're at in the world.
I'm just jealous. I don't care.
Oh, gorgeous too, man. 92 right now. I went to Animal Kingdom yesterday. Ooh, fun time.
No, listen. Listen. First of all, I'm in Harlem. Not only you want to see some animals, I can take you to 125th Street. I can show you some animals. All right.
Oh wow.
All right, cool. Let's get into it. So last week was a crazy week, and
Oh,
we going to jump right into this. All right, cool.
yeah,
So
let's we're talking before this. We'll start off with let's start off with our week two picks and our total records. I'm just gonna give you our total records so you're aware. In our straight up picks, we are both 3-3, or excuse me, 3-4, 3-4. We are not the greatest at these straight up picks. But even more horrendous is I am 0-3 on my spread picks. You're 1-2, so doing a little bit better. But what do we got for us last week? We had some different opinions on these games.
first of all, we was both wrong on the Ravens. Like, how do you get?
Oh, how do you mean 6 touchdown passes by Tua? Like, what do you do? I mean, that's we're going to talk about this, but is Tua
Yeah,
where we want him to be now? Is like that? Is that what we're thinking? This
like
man coming to
here's the
show.
thing. Here's the thing. Like, all right. So last week was absolutely the most impressive game Tua ever had
Oh,
because Lamar Jackson, who I've said he is a former MVP and everything he did. Listen, he was efficient throwing the ball. Lamar Jackson was 21 to 29, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. And Tua outdid that. Tua outdid that. Even and it's not like I'm saying like he was as efficient, he was but when you needed him to come up last week at least, he did his thing. He was 36 and 50, 469 yards, 6 touchdowns. And he did have 2 picks earlier on in the game, and he adjusted.
yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
all.
what was impressive to me is I think he had 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. So at the entire game, I was like, this is Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things. The Baltimore Ravens have relative control of this game. And then it was like Tyreek Hill is here to stay 100 yards or plus in the fourth quarter, 2 touchdowns, just like literally destroying defenses. Jalen Waddle is an absolute stud, just dominating people as well. And they figured it out. And Tua made some passes that he should not have. Not that he should not have, that elite quarterbacks make, throwing it high over 2 defenders, putting it in places only his wide receivers can hit. So look, I'm still high on the Ravens, but I'm a little interested to see where we thought the Dolphins were going to be good this year. But if Tua can play this way throughout the rest of the season, they're
This is
going to be a
why.
force.
This is why this is one of the games I wanted to see because I mean, yeah, the Dolphins, the players that needed to step up for the Dolphins to win, they all did, and that's all you can hope for signings and the people who you say I need you more than everybody else. They did that, so that's how you beat a really good team. That's how you beat a really good team. So
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see how well that keeps up.
I mean, look, Miami Dolphins still 2-0. Like, just not something I expected to say through week three. I mean, I don't know if I expected anything really, too bad, but very interesting. We'll talk about this later because I think it's going to be both on our board. But 2-0 Dolphins against the 2-0 Bills
Right.
this week
That's
will be
definitely
an
going to be
interesting
one of the
one.
games that we going to talk about. That's
We're going to talk
absolutely
about
one of the
that.
games we got to watch. But
So let's go with
let's
our
take
let's
it
go
on.
with our 2 games that we split them, right. So the next 2 games we got the Commanders and the Lions.
Mhm.
You're right, the Commanders are bums, and the Lions look like hard-nosed football players. Like,
No, I don't
don't
think the Commanders are bums. I don't think the Commanders are bums.
bums.
What I said last week was I want to see a consistent game plan in which the game plan is Carson Wentz get the ball, make all the decisions, throw the ball because all I said was I know what that looks like. And
So
even though his numbers are good, I mean he was 30 of 46, which I mean could be better, but 30 of 46, 337 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Those
yeah,
aren't bad numbers, but
here's my only thing I'm going to say about that.
Mhm.
In the first half, Carson Wentz looked so goddamn pedestrian. They're down 22-0 with a safety. I will tell you, I had a vested interest in Carson Wentz this week, and he ended up pulling it out. As far as a fantasy football lineup, I had Dak Prescott, who is now out. I needed to stream a quarterback. Carson Wentz was the man. He had -3 points going into half, Tariq.
This is the reality of Carson Wentz. When you need him to just be that guy, he can't do that. And Detroit, who is not the greatest roster, who's not the greatest team, showed you. Listen, you're gonna have to come back. And all these numbers is just I was coming back from a large deficit numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's where I was going with that. So he scored 27 points in the second half, right? Fortunately, the Lions were able to maintain scoring another 14 points to keep their lead and keep it up by 9. So it was never really a threat. But Carson Wentz, he had to throw, what did you say, 46 times because they were getting spanked. So I don't know about that consistency. More so, what I want to go about this game is the consistency of the Lions. Yeah, they lost to what we're going to probably say is a good Eagles team week 1. They beat not a great Commanders team, but they've scored 30 plus points, I think, in each one of these games. Like, if they can figure out how to win football games, they're not going to be a force to reckon with, but they might, end up with a winning record this year for the first time in a long time with those Detroit Lions. And, we've talked about this preseason. They look like they're going to be a team to talk about for the rest of the season.
Well, take this, Jared Goff haters. 20 of 34, 256 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. Okay. I think we've said what we need to say about that. I think we've said all. Jared Goff is doing what he needs to do to win, So boom. All right, cool. Let's keep
it was against the Lions. You got next week, but I agree with you. So yeah. So last one, Bucks and Saints. We split this one as well. Where do you want to go with that first? You got the Saints losing. How about it? I got one right.
Yeah, the Saints lost. So I basically based that off of their success. And did you see which one of the linebackers? I forget which one of the linebackers it was from the Bucks. He said about Jameis, he said, even from when he was here, he threw 30 interceptions. We knew he was going to give us the ball. He knew they was going to give him the ball back. So that was their game plan. Jameis give us the ball. And that's what happened.
I also want to say that there was I'm trying to look this up right now, but I'm fairly certain that was it Leonard Fournette that mimicked the Jameis Winston eating a W? I gotta find that video. We should post that somewhere.
They just didn't have
just too much for that whole eating a W.
He's never going to live that down.
I don't know.
Sometimes you just don't do stuff because you can't live it down afterwards. So yeah, but yeah, Jameis 25 of 40, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. I mean, that's basically what they expected. So
that's it.
I mean, what do you
know what the interesting part about the Bucks is? They're 2-0, and I can't say they look great, but it's the difference about the Bucks is Super Bowl team, Super Bowl contending team, Super Bowl winning team, Super Bowl contending team. They just know how to. The whole team knows how to win. I'm not saying it's a Tom Brady effect, but everyone on that, we know how to. We've done it for a long time. They go into games. They don't get rattled, just look consistent, even when they're not playing great. And I can't say they've played great football for the last couple of weeks. We'll see next week, right? So they who do they have this upcoming week without Evans? So that'll be an interesting one. That's where I was going. So they got Green Bay, which can't say Green Bay's been great either at 1-1, but
they're not going to have Mike Evans either.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So. Which I'm still indifferent. I don't know. Quickly on that. One, he was definitely wrong. No need to run from the sidelines, lay a shoulder I forget who it was. Lattimore, lay a shoulder, and I think that's a little bit too aggressive. But a game suspension, unless there's a fine. I don't know. It's not like he went helmet to helmet. I don't know. It's interesting.
So Tim, what I'm saying is, all right, so there is a realm of, yes, he was wrong. However, That's what you're supposed to do. You don't touch my quarterback. You don't touch my Super Bowl win. And at the
Sure.
end of the day, you as teammates, I got your back. So I might do
But
something
here,
wrong. I might do something
the
wrong
reason,
or outside the rules to basically make sure nobody does anything to you. And I'm okay with that 10 times.
but you have 5 300-plus-pound offensive linemen on that field. Let them do the dirty work. I was an offensive lineman. That was my job. That was my responsibility when we were not doing legal things within the play. Mike Evans and star wideouts, star running backs don't do stupid things. You win the football games. Much as I love offensive linemen, we can replace one of us, cycle them in and out. Like where there's an ability to fill holes. You lose Mike Evans' production, we have a little bit different of a conversation on our hands. No one says, hey, my left tackle's out. We're going to get destroyed this year. They say Mike Evans out. We might have a problem.
The only thing I'm saying is then hurry up so that Mike Evans don't get there as fast. Offensive lineman, hurry up and get there because I'm coming. Yeah, I mean, if I was Mike Evans, I would do the same thing. Don't leave him alone. That's my man's right there. Tim, if that was you, Tim, if that was you, Tim, if that was you, and I was on the sideline, and somebody was about to roll up on you, Tim, I'm coming for you. Do you hear me? I am coming for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir.
All right.
I was a skinny diamond, so I was the quick one there, but cool.
It's all good.
All right, so we
let's get to these spread picks.
Next we were talking about spread picks. Yeah. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way. I'm terrible at this. I am 0-3 with the Seahawks getting smoked last week. I had them at plus 9.5. Where was that score? I put too much stock in Geno Smith. I don't even know where it's at right now, but it wasn't good. I saw, the 49ers. Even so, with a disappointing loss of Trey Lance, 49ers still win 27-7. One, because the Seahawks are what we thought they were. And Jimmy Garoppolo is proved himself to be a starting quarterback in this league. I know he's been in a couple situations where people are just trying to replace him, but here we go. Jimmy Garoppolo is back in the fold. He's going to be the starter for the 49ers for the foreseeable future.
This rest of this year. Trey Lance is
out. Trey Lance is done for this year. It was a gruesome injury. And but how about it? Jimmy Garoppolo just, looking good still, winning football games. You know that man gets a $250,000 bonus every game he plays, more than 25% of the snaps, which will be for the entire rest of this year, foreseeable year, unless there's any injuries, plus a $100,000 bonus for every win. So,
I mean, that's why they tried to get rid of him. And I don't think anybody thought that Trey Lance was going to be better than Jimmy Garoppolo this year. It's just you have to move forward. You have to get somebody that you're paying less and get them the snaps so that they can get to that place. But I don't think anybody thought that Trey, at least I didn't think Trey Lance was better.
Well, he's going to the future, though. But he's the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what that is. So I want to get to something. So Tim, I want to get to something that I don't want to talk too much about.
I think we need to put this to rest. It's bad. It's bad.
So I was wrong I was wrong in that I said Indy was going to win by 3. Not only did we not win by 3, we lost.
You were wrong about winning a football game.
So here's what I want to say. No, not only did we lose 24-3 to the Jaguars. Oh wait, Tim, the Kansas City Chiefs are coming in this week, and that's who we got to play. Pat Mahomes. We tied it to Texans. We lose 24-0 to the Jaguars, and now we got the Chiefs. I think this is bad. I think this is getting bad. I don't see it getting any better. So for what I want to say is, Tim, here on cause you don't know football, we only talk about good teams. So I don't think we want to talk about the Colts too much because
I do. I
don't think we want to talk about because they're clearly not a good team, and there's nothing more that we can talk about them until.
It's crazy. We were both pretty high on them. Jonathan Taylor was supposed to be the stud of the league this year, and he cannot get anything working. But part of that is because Matt Ryan cannot keep the ball. 16 of 30, 195 yards, 3 interceptions, and that offensive line is doing him no favors with 5 sacks.
Listen,
He had a 6.2 QBR.
listen, Tim.
Okay,
Out of 8 quarters, we were the worst team for 7 of those 8 quarters, and the teams that we played were the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't have anything to say for this.
You might come in last in that division. Just at the rate is going.
Have you seen the power rankings lately? Where
No.
at best we're 25, and some people have us 32. I don't listen. I don't even want to talk about them right now.
It's brutal. I will say, as much as I've been down on the Cowboys, and I still am, I know we didn't pick them last week, but we got to win. Cooper Rush looked like a stud. Well, he looked like a game manager, but I'm just whatever. I'm still thinking they're going to lose every week until I die.
Hey, listen, you beat the Cincinnati Bengals, and that says a lot because we both picked them to win the division. So
that's another complete topic, the Bengals in general. I know we got a lot to talk about today, but we're gonna have to spend some time on them. That I think I forget, and I'm making this number up because it's exaggerated, but I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow has been rushed 72 times this year alone.
We'll get time on them. We'll get time on them because we need some time for that one. But I'm that's a team that I think can actually rebound and get back on track. It's just I want to see that. So all right, cool. So let's hurry up through these the last picks so that we can move on.
Oh, we're done with our picks from week 2. So did you want to go to player of the week?
Yes. I'm curious about this. Who is the player that stood out and said, I'm the man and I need you to know it for week 2?
So I got, as an offensive person, I have 2 individuals that both Crimson Tide individuals. You know where I'm going with this. My actual pick as player of the week is Tua with 36 completions, 469 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But I will say, as much as this pains me to say, Jalen Hurts and his he was a stud too. I mean, he just looked good. He looked in control of his game. 333 yards passing, one passing touchdown, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Just, doing his thing across the board. But again, both Alabama alums, interestingly enough, Tua taking his position or his spot in a national championship game a few years. I mean, just what an incredible performance he did. Fourth quarter to beat Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens. That's where I would end up.
Okay. So you might be on the offensive side, but you knew I do the defense. That's what I do. For me,
Eagles.
For me, I'm sticking with the Eagles, and I'm going Darius Slay for what he did to the Jets. Listen, he put him up, he snatched his little ass up, and he said, "Listen, none of this has happened." Now, this isn't the first time I've seen something like this. I remember back in the day, like when we had Marvin Harrison, for whatever reason, Ike Taylor would just snatch Marvin Harrison up and be like, "All right, you're mine." And they'd be like, why can't you get off on him? And he's not, I don't know what it is. But listen, I didn't think that was possible. They didn't double team him. They didn't help him out. They said, go get him.
2 picks for Slay. Yeah, no, I mean 2 picks for Slay, and he just said, good luck. And he showed. So I agree with you. That's pretty scary that Darius Slay and the Eagles defense is going to be on that type of level, because we talked about this last few weeks. Justin Jefferson's an absolute stud, has actually made Adam Thielen
nothing.
Who's not nothing. And the dude has the most, like 8 100-yard games in a row, which is most ever. Like it's ridiculous. Like, the dude could definitely play football. And last week I was playing Adam Thielen in one of my fantasy leagues. He didn't have a catch until I think late in the 3rd quarter. So the fact that the Eagles defense, 1, shuts down Justin Jefferson, and 2, just shuts down that whole wide receiving crew, again, scary. Absolutely nothing I wanted to say this entire year as a Cowboys fan, because it pains me to say the Eagles are actually the favorites in that division.
Yeah, I tried to tell you about that one.
Oh, Cowboys are still 1-1. I still think it's possible. Cooper Rush. Jerry Jones said there will be a quarterback controversy if Cooper Rush continues to play well, which is an absolute ridiculous statement. We paid Dak $1 billion. Cooper Rush is not a quarterback controversy. They will trade him faster than anything and create that value. But
now they look smart.
All right, so we got what a dumb statement.
Okay, all right, cool. So we're gonna move on to week 3. Now, week 3 got some games. Week 3 has some games, and I don't know how we're gonna limit these games to just a couple, but I think we can get to 4. I think we can get to 4 games.
Let me get ready for this. I think we got to start with the first and foremost game, right?
We know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you got Bills and Dolphins.
You know what it is. I have to see that.
We've talked about this, I've said this a billion times. My go-to, not statistic, but my predictor of game winning, and this is not serving me well clearly in these picks this year, is quarterback play and who's better. I still think Josh Allen is the.
Okay, we got a little hang up there. That's okay. So I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna just start off until you pick back up. So what I think is, yeah, just going off of what you said, I think that Buffalo definitely has a better quarterback, and this is a quarterback league. And you have to acknowledge that there is a quarterback league, you know? However, I think Peyton Manning said this one time. There's different speeds, you know? There's regular season speed, there's division speed, there's playoff speed, you know? So division speed, I think, is different. And I think when you're in a division, you really want to keep that in mind. So with that said, I think this week, and we're going to wait for Tim to get back on because I'm sure he's coming back on. He just had some Wi-Fi mess ups. This week, I think I'm going to get Miami this week only because I think they're home. They're it's division game. We'll just figure that out. So I'm rolling this week. I'm rolling with Miami this week. Not that I think they're a better team, but I just think that they're Miami. Oh, here we got Tim coming back on now. And he'll get that together. We're just going to finish this up. Tim, can you hear me?
I got you.
It's all good, man. We lost you for a second, but
I was just in a cool monologue too. And this is the problem with being on vacation: unsecure networks and getting kicked off of things.
Don't worry about it. Your boy held you down while you was gone. Just finish up what you were saying real quick about the Bills. Just to let you know, I picked Miami this week. Not because I think that,
write that down. Picking Miami.
Yes, not because I think that they're better. I just think that, you know, when you play a division rival, you can't expect a team to sweep another team, especially when two teams are good. And I think Miami. I don't think Miami's going to Buffalo in like December and winning. So I'm going to roll with them this week just for that reason.
And they're they're in Miami this week, right? So they are in Miami. I will say that's a bold prediction. They do have the Bills at -5 on the road this week. I personally am going to go the Bills as pure controversy with you. I do think the Bills are a better team. Just trying to figure out right now what the score was last week when they put a hurting on the teams. But it was the Tennessee Titans, but they put up 41 points and just looked dominant. So it's 41-7. I will go with the Bills this week to 1 for controversy, 2 because Josh Allen just
I'm with you. I understand. All right. Enough said. We don't even need to go over that anymore. So
all right.
Ironically,
here number 2.
Ironically, and I'm sticking with this, I really want to see the Lions-Vikings game. I think that's going to be
on them.
Game. Now,
you are loving the Lions.
Listen, hold on. Let me finish. Now, this is another division game. I think like there's teams play up. However, I think because it's in Minnesota, I'm going to roll with Minnesota. As I said, I don't think that Detroit is a team that's just going to like be like great, but I think they play people close and they're a hard win. But I think I'm going to roll this week with the Vikings as a superior team, and they're at home too.
So look, I'm in agreement with you on that one since we're picking this game. Um, I just don't think we Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen have such a pedestrian game again. The 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 Detroit Lions have proved themselves in 2 weeks to not be able to stop a damn soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure, they've scored 30 plus points, but they're giving up almost 30 points a game as well.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Jefferson's going to eat that up.
Yes.
Project him and Adam Thielen to have themselves.
He's going to get off the schneid.
Oh no, he's going to say what? He's going to say this is not Darius Slay that's covering me. This is some money I don't even know. Let's go. So, all right, cool. I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is the person to do it for him, but Kirk Cousins has been serviceable. He can get them the ball. I do agree with you as a straight up win. The Vikings are going to win. I think that's going to be an interesting pick, though, for the spread, and we'll come back to that. I'll be a 6-point spread right now. Vikings is the favorite.
So I'm looking at next week. I have 3 games that I'm thinking.
Let's hear it. What's the third?
All right. So in a little bit smaller one, I actually think the Jaguars Chargers game is going to be a good game.
Oh no, you didn't. You didn't.
I really want to see Jacksonville because I want to see if they're really the team that can win the division, even though everybody thinks that they're not. You know, I'm really curious to see what Jacksonville can do in LA against the Chargers. Plus, I want to see Herbert once again. I want to see because right now I'm kind of starting to lean towards he's not in the same class as like a Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, only because he doesn't win the games he's supposed to win, and he loses some of the games that he should win, like last week when he had a superior team and is outplaying as a team the Chiefs, and somehow they still lose. So I really want to see how that happens because they should win this game, and I'm going to pick them, but they should, but I think that they should win, and I would just want to know.
So I agree with you, but just in the spirit of picking against you, I'll go with the Jaguars. But I want to say on record, I do think the Chargers are the better team. The interesting part about the Chargers and Justin Herbert for this week is Justin Herbert has a fractured rib.
Mm-hmm.
Fractured rib. Mm-hmm. He literally was wincing, walking, barely being able to get off the field the other day. Comes back in and rips like 3 balls perfectly thrown, like with a fractured rib, still can sling it around. So I think they're the superior team. I as in the spirit of picking against you and my fantasy football team leaning on James Robinson scoring more fantasy football points, and that was what I need to root for. So I need to be aligned with that. I will pick the Jags. I
just want you to know, as we move on, I just want you to know the fact that you picked Jacksonville and you don't think it's a stupid pick is exactly what my thought is about the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Why is that not a dumb pick? You know,
why is that not just an awful pick?
That's what I'm saying. All right, cool. So you're picking Jacksonville, I'm picking the Chargers. So then I'm gonna save one for the end, and I just only because I want to talk about it. So then I have the 49ers and the Broncos. Now, when I'm going to let you go, but my only question is, who are the Broncos exactly? Go.
They ain't Russell Wilson.
We also got 10 minutes. Just let you know.
I see that. We are the Broncos. I think they're still clearly finding their footing. And Russell Wilson has not performed to the way I expected him to perform. I think it's going to be very interesting. If I had to, I really look at this game earlier. My initial guess is I do think the 49ers are more well-equipped, have a better team, even with Jimmy Garoppolo at the helm. I don't think you just said that. We just talked about this earlier. We didn't really lose any real skill sets or ability. Well, we lost the running ability from Trey Lance, but Jimmy Garoppolo knows how to play football. He knows how to football games.
Very well.
I've been seeing it for years.
Very well.
So, not that Russell Wilson doesn't, but I just think looking at this, and doesn't Russell Wilson have a couple injured wide receivers in Jerry Jeudy, dealing with a facing injury. He'll probably play, but again, there's some things out there that might be challenging. I just think that Broncos team has not figured it out as a team yet. Not saying they won't win, but as far as that game, I think this is a great game to look at. Even though the 49ers did lose to the Bears, it's a little bit different in that hell of a rainstorm they were in. But I would have to say the 49ers in this game.
Okay, so my response to that is you said figuring it out. Well, there has to be a week when a team figures it out. And you're not gonna, I don't know if you're all the way prepared for when they figure it out. And also I did think the Broncos, I thought very highly of the Broncos this year. I think this is a week where, well, before I say that, I think in week one they got humbled. And I think you do have to figure that out. And I think this is the week where they play a more superior team and they play like they're supposed to play. And I'm going with Denver this week.
Take the Denver. Take Broncos. All right.
Period. Okay.
I'm good with it. I just think the Broncos only scored 16 points against the Jaguars last week. So, or excuse me, the Houston Texans. I'm looking at multiple games.
Mm-hmm.
So the Broncos have scored a total of 32 points this year, and they've played the Seahawks and the Texans. So
yeah, but this game might be a game. It's probably a game where 17 is going to win this game. These are two very good defenses. 17 points probably is going to win this game. So you got to keep that in mind. So they don't need to do that. They have to figure out how to win.
According to you, 17 is going to win this game. They haven't scored 17 yet. They've only scored 16.
These are semantics at this point. All right, cool. Awesome. So moving on, this is the game where I'm saying it's the game of the week. I'm going Packers and I'm going Buccaneers. That game. This might be the last time we see Tom and Aaron duel it out. Before you go, I'm gonna just say what I think. This week, I'm gonna keep it quick. I think the Packers are gonna go into Tampa Bay and win. I think the fact that Mike Evans is not going to play, I think that the clear cut, I don't have weapons that Aaron Rodgers can say. I think Tom Brady's in that same situation this week, and I think that Aaron can come in with a running game with two backs, with more continuity with all of the wide receivers. I think this is a game that Green Bay goes in and steals. That's where I'm saying.
Yeah. That is fair. So the Bucs are missing Mike Evans. The one question is with the Packers, who is Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball to? Is Valdez Scantling, whatever his name is? Is he back?
Number one.
He's number one. Here's my only challenge with it. And this is where I'm going to go. So you're going Packers. Let me write this down. The reason why I'm going to go Bucs is not that they necessarily faced any, stellar teams right now, but their defense is still really good. Mm-hmm. And they've only given up 13 points on the entire season, right? At no point in time do we look at the Green Bay Packers at the moment, outside of Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, and say they're going to get, it's going to be a barn burner. They're going to get destroyed on the outside. I think personally that the Packers don't have enough firepower to beat that defense, but Tom Brady still has a will and a desire he can make people win. He just makes people win, and completely understand. But again, not even out of controversy. I think the Bucs probably go 3-0 here, beat the Packers. And you know what? If the Packers do lose this one, we may have to think about the Packers having a troublesome season moving forward, because if they can't beat teams like the Bucs, we know they're never going to beat anyone in the playoffs if they make it there.
I understand. All right, cool. Well, listen, we got about 4 minutes left, so let's get into these spread picks real quick. So I was actually looking really fast. So in terms of my spread picks, I am picking Cincinnati -4.5 against the Jets. The Jets just had a real good comeback against the Browns, except I don't think they're a consistent team, and I'm looking for a letdown.
I would really like to know where you got 4.5 from, just so I'm curious. I'm seeing 6 right now. I think it moved. Cincinnati -6.
I'm looking
But
at
we'll
it
take it.
on the NFL on the Vegas
Cincy
odds.
4.5. No, I believe that's the odds.
All
I'm
right, so
just
even if it's 6, I'm sticking with 6 too. I
yeah.
think the Jets are going to have a letdown, and I think this just like I said with teams. I think that a team has to figure out, what's going on, and I think this is a week where they can kind of figure out, okay, this is the changes that we can make, and I think, yeah, I
100%.
actually do see a 10-point loss for the Jets this week. I do. So
100%. I mean, look, it's still the Jets and Joe Flacco. So let me see real quick. I'm flipping on DraftKings. I just want to take a look at some of these lines real quick to see if they moved from my initial look. I'm gonna grab one of these here. Ooh, ooh.
and you're 100% right. It is 6. It just, when I went in depth, it switched.
It updated, right?
Yeah. So 6. So put down 6. So I'm going -6, and I'm still going Cincinnati.
Here's where I got it. We're going back to the Green Bay Bucks and the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Where I'm changing this slightly is not necessarily the spread. I'm going to flip it over to the over/under. This is a point total between the two teams for any of our audience that does not know. So Bucks score and the Packers score right now, it is sitting at 42 points, meaning we're expecting more than 42 points or less than 42 points, depending on how you take this game for the for the game. I'm personally going to go the over. I'm going to put it on both of these offenses to figure it out this week. I know I just said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a defense that might shut down Green Bay. And while I think I still agree with that, we still got the bad man Aaron Rodgers on the other end. And I think between the two, Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, we can get more than 21 points out of each one of them.
Tim, you just got fancy on us. You just got fancy on us. So I'm gonna keep it with the fancy. I'm gonna stay fancy, and I'm gonna meet you where I want to meet you. We're at the same place. So the over under for the Rams Cardinals game is 48.5, and I'm going over.
You said 48.5?
48.5 points. That's
right.
And I'm going over.
I like it. I do like it.
So we got about a minute left, Tim. So give us your last pick, whatever.
One more, just heading back to the well with the 49ers and the Broncos. 49ers, I'm going to keep this one simple on the spread. 49ers are -1.5 in Denver. Since I think they're going to win it anyway, I'm going to take them straight up.
It's cheating.
Tim,
you got fancy on us. Then you just double down on your pick again.
Hey, I am 0-3 in my spread picks. We need some easy money here, and it's probably not easy money.
I understand.
So 49ers -1.5.
All right, cool. Well, like I said, we had about a minute left. I think we fit this in pretty good today. I think it's one of the better episodes.
Disruptions.
It's all good. We get through this. This is because you don't know football. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. I'm your boy Tariq.
This is Tim coming from Florida. See you next week.
Later.
Take it easy.